All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tackle and Tacos, a fishing podcast where we're going to talk about fishing and we're going to talk about tacos and we're going to talk about lures and we're going to talk about Alabama for a pretty specific reason. We are very excited. We've been trying to line this up for ever. Yeah, Nate. I mean, it's been
It's been a while for sure. Heck yeah, we're excited for it.
Yeah, and we've been wanting to have this dude on before, that thing that like hipsters say, like I liked their music before they got big. Like we wanted this dude on before he won Bassmaster Classic, and so we are of course referring to our guest tonight, Mr. Easton Fothergill. Just a stud human being, good dude all around. Obviously, an absolute hammer of an angler. Resilient as all get out. Some of the stuff he's gone through in I think he turns 14 next year or something. He's mad young, but he's gone through a lot. Like he's gone through a lot, and you can tell just by the way he handles himself, carries himself. He's just, he's a good guy. So we're pumped to have him on the show and just kind of talk about life and fishing and what the next year looks like and just whatever. I want to get into a really heated debate about the evils of forward-facing sonar. I'm just kidding. I don't want to talk about that at all. I'm so sick of that conversation. Nate, it's funny, man, like how much watching and like being into like pro bass fishing like gets into my head. Today at work we had a boat, a Pro V Bass, with a new Ultrex Quest on it, and he had two LVS 34, one perspective and one in like regular forward facing, and I was like, oh, you can do that. I'm like, wait a minute, this dude's just fishing.
Yeah,
like
he's just having fun. Yeah.
The rules of fit, and he had 3 units up front. I'm like, that's way too many inches, like my brain is into like the rules and the limits and whatever. And I think he fishes local derbs where nobody really cares and whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to just talk to the man and have a good conversation. Nate, how have you been? You've been hunting? You've been seeing any durs? How's that going for you?
Oh, I've been doing quite well. Aside from the hunting, I've only gone out once. I guess one weekend I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a couple weeks ago now, and man, saw some really good deer. I had a couple opportunities where I could have shot a couple small bucks, but after seeing some really good ones the first morning, I kind of
Yeah.
held off and hoped for another opportunity. But of course, it never comes. So hopefully, I'm gonna get out soon here.
Let me ask you a serious question. Is there a more annoying saying that hunters say, and not all hunters, mostly old hunters, is there a more annoying saying than when an old hunter says, you can't eat the horns? Man,
uh,
gosh.
Honestly, I think there's one that is more annoying, and
What is?
you can't catch a bass going 70.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That,
Always
that that's probably the one.
like, yeah, I can beat you to your spot and I can get on the fish before you're there because I was going 72 and you were going 40. So, whatever.
Exactly.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Pro V bass boats. Anywho, so Nate, go ahead and hit us up with the sponsors. We'll do a quick little ditty. Before we do that, speaking of deer hunting, this Saturday, which is a couple days from right now, here in Wisconsin, is it's like a holiday around here. Like the state basically shuts down. It's the annual rifle deer season, and we're pretty excited. Vinny, who is a full-blown fan at this point of our guest Easton Fothergill, he's hunting for the first time. We got him a little Mossberg Patriot 243. It's about like this long, and yeah, I think if anybody's ever wondered what's a good round to get a kid started, 243 is an awesome caliber. It comes out flat, comes out fast, but it doesn't really like recoil a ton, but it's not a 22 either. It's an actual rifle. But anyway, and so anybody who's hunting, and I guess by the time this comes out, people will have already been hunting. But be safe out there, be smart. All those rules, know your target and what's beyond, and all that good stuff. And I'm excited. I really hope we can get on some durs this weekend just for him. If he shoots a doe, I think he's gonna be like cloud 9 and then some. And so we'll see what happens. But Nate, give us the rundown on sponsors right quick, and then we'll talk through our socials. We'll bring Easton on. We'll have a good time, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into the sponsors, I got a quick deer hunting story that you brought to my mind.
All
So
right.
I gotta get this off my chest. Speaking of new hunters, I'm not new to it. I've been hunting for quite a few years, but I am a novice at best, I would say. And I rattled in my first buck
Oh, that's
when
good.
I was out, a couple weeks ago or whatever. Yeah, there was buck that came over a fence into a cornfield, and then he was kind of up on a hill a good ways away from me. And of course, my actual rattling antlers I left at home, 2.5 hours away from hunting. So a buddy of mine, like, "Hey, here's a rattling bag from 1954."
Yeah, like the
Uh,
little bag with the sticks on the inside. You can back and forth
yeah, he's like, "I put an extra wooden dowel in there, so it might work well for you." Uh, so
all the
of course,
time. The bucks are clashing with dowels on their heads. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So I hit it and
Yeah.
gave it the roll and did the whole thing, and he postured up and looked my way and took a couple steps and stopped and turned around, and I did it again, and then he came in on a rope. It was pretty sweet, but of course it was just a little, like, 115-inch,
Yeah.
8 point, but man, he was a
So
pretty deer. It looked like almost looked like a decoy, like
real
what's that? Yeah, what's that?
myth.
Like a Glendale buck, or
Uh,
like the
oh, classic.
monster buck or whatever. Yeah, like just a beautiful deer. Like it was really cool. He came into I could have shot him probably 7 different times at, between between
Yeah.
between 20 and 5 yards. So it was
Yeah,
cool.
that's rad. That's a good experience for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, something that I learned a long time ago, a buddy of mine taught me, and it helps me with bass fishing too, or just fishing in general. Like if you're only going out to kill, if you're only going out to just like catch, you're gonna miss a lot of like the teachable kind of fun moments and like just the experience, memories you can create and whatever. So, yeah, man, I think that's dope. Sometimes it's fun just watching deer that you have no intention of shooting, or like obviously if you're not fishing a derb and you're just catching a bunch of fish, that's fun as heck. Just throw them all back, even if they're all 1 pounders, whatever. Like it's still super fun.
Yeah, no doubt. So, yeah, had to get that one out. But like you said, let's get with the sponsors.
Yep.
Of course, Grizzly, Grizzly Coolers, all stuff Grizzly. We gotta thank those guys. Yes, everything is fantastic. You know,
Yep. I like that one. Handles kind of grooved in. It's dope.
yeah, that grip cup is awesome. So of course, like I said, Grizzly Coolers, um, Leupold Optics,
Are you wearing a loophole shirt?
uh,
Where's my thing at? Look at that, dude. Decked out. That's it.
doing it. Yes, yes. Leupold
Yeah.
Optics and
I
their
know.
performance eyewear.
Yeah.
Man, hey, those DeSotos, I'm telling you, are
They're super dope.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's something about uh, it's probably my favorite frame in terms of like wearing them while wearing a hat, because it doesn't like give you that added like pressure like as they
Yeah.
like kind of go underneath your lid or whatever. Man, they're
Take a
so
little.
comfortable. I absolutely love them.
And the lenses are just big enough they start to kind of wrap around. And again, we're not talking Ishman Row cocoons or whatever, where you look like an absolute goofball, look like Big Pun from like 2003, but like dope. Like they wrap around enough to like, I don't know if they'd be perfect for flipping because you really want to cut, or not flipping, but like bed fishing, sight fishing, because you want to cut everything.
Yeah,
Bars kind of wrapping a little bit. Yeah, they really do cut the glare really well.
yeah. Good coverage in terms of light and
Yeah.
keeping that out of there. They're dope. I really like them. So of course, Hook and Arrow Supply, or Hook and Arrow
Mm.
Supply, where you can find all of the Giltech products.
Yeah.
Um, Everything Giltech right there, and Moldy's Marine. That's our newest one, right?
Yeah. Point, point, point. Shout out.
Shout out Jeremy.
Yeah,
Jeremy at Moldy's Marine. What an awesome dude. And like you said, like you mentioned it before, his work is second to none. Dude takes his time with everything he does. So,
yeah,
and of course the guys at Working Class Bowhunter,
for sure.
WCB, for letting us do this stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of WCB and Grizzly, if you use the code WCB at checkout, you get 15% off on everything except for the blinds. So if you're getting a good cooler, and like right now it's about to be Thanksgiving, I cannot overemphasize how important it is to let big chunks of meat, whether that's a turkey or a ham or a roast, let it rest in something sealed like a cooler. Get a good cooler from Grizzly. Get that 15% off. It's actually pretty dope. You can find all of our stuff if you're interested at let's see. Oh wait. We have a sponsor one too. We have a sponsor ticker. We're so behind. I didn't realize we had that. But
too
you can,
official.
yeah, man. You can find all of our stuff at tackleandtacos.com. On the website, there's just like photos, videos. There's cooking stuff. There's all of our sponsor stuff. You can listen to the podcast on the website, which a surprising number of people still do. And then also on any social whatever. So we're only on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and it's just Tackle and Tacos. That's it. And then obviously if you're wanting to find out more about our guest tonight, you can go to his website, eastonfothergill.com. Yeah. So before we bring him in, let's walk through a couple things. And again, keep in mind this dude is young and he doesn't act, talk, or fish like he's young. But so his career stats, this is impressive. 42 tournaments, 2 classic appearances already. With here's the big number, obviously, 1 classic win. I wonder if he thinks that'll be like his lifelong stat line, that he'll be 50%. 50% of the classics he wins, 20,
Yeah, that'd
20
be a solid one.
110 of them or some crazy thing. He's been in the money 10 times, 4 first place finishes, 1 second place finish, total weight of 1,470 pounds and $542,000 in winnings already in a young career for a dude that I'm just so pumped to have a conversation with. So with no further ado, let's bring the man in, Mr. Easton Fothergill. Thank you, man. Thanks for jumping on the show, dude.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is awesome.
Hey.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
no, appreciate it.
Yeah, we're pumped to have you on, man. We talked about this before the show just for a quick sec, but we got a hold of you via our buddy Matt from Omnia. And real quick, if you would, you're part of like the Omnia fishing squad, yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. So, have you heard about this new thing with Thorne Brothers? Like how they're like teamed up, like they're combined or whatever. Do you know about that? What all are they doing there? Like are they combining warehouses? Is it like 2 separate companies? One, I'm pumped on it, but I don't fully get it.
Yeah, they just combined warehouses together just so they can, provide all the tackle needs for everyone because they had a little bit different warehouses. They just carried different supplies and stuff, so they just combined the two, and from now on they're kind of working together to tackle everyone's needs. So yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. Because being a guy from the Midwest like you are as well, everybody who knows anything about muskie fishing at least knows Thorne Brothers. I mean, there's like legitimately legendary, and they're a Minnesota squad, just like Omni is, just like you are. And then to combine those, I thought that was a really cool deal. Like I like seeing 2 really cool companies work together. Just kind of makes sense. But so right now, Easton, where are you coming to us from? I know you're practicing for the first derb of the year for the Elite Series. How's that going? Where are you at? Give us some info.
Yeah, I'm at Lake Gunnersville right now. I've spent 4 days here, and yeah, from here I'm currently living in Clanton, Alabama. It's right in the middle of Alabama. It's right next to Lay Lake. So, but yeah, I'm just stopping through on the way. I was actually in Knoxville last week practicing for the Classic. So, and that's where my girlfriend's living. So.
Okay.
Every time I get to go see her, I'll bring the boat along and put a few days in on the water, and then we'll head home. So it's working out good so far.
Yeah. Easton, I don't know if you're allowed to get info or not, for Gunnersville, but Nate has a really good flathead spot if you need it. You want to put him up on that, Nate, from the last time you went bass fishing there and caught some flathead?
Big flathead. I don't know what it is, but they like to eat down there.
I believe
it. Yeah, especially when you're bass fishing, you just catch some big old flatheads on a 7-foot medium crankbait rod.
Fun. Yeah, I don't think Easton's gonna get for it. I hope not. Hopefully, this conversation doesn't get him in some hot water. But
Easton, I hope I don't run into them.
Well, is that weird for you? Because for people, like doc talk and just if people know you, I know Gunnersville, like do you get that a lot or you have to like shut people down like, dude, I can't get any info from you, I can't listen, is that hard?
Yeah, I mean, it is. A lot of times it's just like your typical old man that wants to come up and just wants to talk to someone. Those are the ones that hurt the most, where you're like, you got to shut them down and you can just see it in their face. You just kind of ruin their day. So it does hurt at times, but as soon as you just let them talk to you, that's when you're in the wrong. So you have to shut them down. And yeah, it hurts at times, but it's part of the rules.
Yeah. Do you have like a thing that you say, like a standard thing, or not really?
I just say like, look, I appreciate you trying to help. I can't get information. It's in our rules for next year. And I try to be as polite as possible about it. But yeah, sometimes it comes across as, being, I guess, mean. Like I have some guys who just go on, and then I get kind of aggravated. Like listen, these are the rules. I have to go. So that's happened a couple times too. But yeah, most of the guys, they understand and they're respectful about it. So.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We don't have to go down this road at all conversationally, but it's because it's been talked to ad nauseum on other podcasts. But like, it's got to be really hard to police, like really hard for what's actual help, what's not, what was exactly like you said. You're at the gas station. I remember back in the day when like shallow water anchors first came out, and I had some like first gen Talons on my boat, and every old man at every gas station like, what are those things in the back of your boat? And then that would segue into, I'm going to this lake. Oh, you've got to try blah 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 and the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is info, what's not? You know, that's hard to police. But Easton, if you would, man, and you don't have to go back any farther than you want to, but I always like asking people like you, like top level pros that we get to talk to on our show. How did you get started in fishing, and then where did like the, you know, because a lot of people fish, but not everybody fishes tournaments. Like when did the tournament light bulb kick on for you?
For me, it was super early. My dad is super heavy into tournament fishing, and he was super heavy into it even before I came around. And obviously, when I came, you know, when I was born, I was just born into the fishing game.
Mm-hmm.
Fished my first tournament with him when I was 3 years old. Obviously, he'd set the hook for me, and I'd just reel the fish in. And you know, I have a picture of me holding a plaque, my first tournament win when I was 3. And then, you know, obviously, as I got older, every year I fished more and more tournaments. And then, one of the biggest breaking moments, I guess, was when I finished 8th grade. I still remember my dad coming home from work, and, you know, he thought about starting a high school fishing team, and obviously I was all over that. So me and him worked together, and we started one at my local high school, and, you know, it blew up. I had a really big core group of friends who was just diehard fishermen, and that really helped us kind of get the team, you know, up off the ground. And so many memories of, you know, us like camping in trucks and just like, you know, we'd pack 3 of us in a boat and we just go and practice for the tournament the next weekend, and just so many cool memories like that. And, you know, I still talk to that group of friends every single day to this day. So high school fishing was a big moment for me. Senior year of high school, that's when I decided, like, you know, I kind of want to try the college fishing deal. And I had, you know, always when I was growing up, we watched Bassmaster every day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've watched every classic, and, you know, it seemed like so far out of reach. And, you know, it still did at the classic this year as I'm fishing it, like, you know, but there was just always a small glimmer, like, that would be cool to do someday. And I knew if there was any chance of doing that, I'd have to go to college and learn the college fishing deals. So went from Minnesota, found a really good college fishing program in Alabama. So ended up moving from Minnesota to Alabama to pursue that. And yeah, from there, that's when it really took off. That's when I started traveling the country rather than just statewide. And that's when I really fell in love with, you know, the life on the road, and, you know, just I really got to, you know, feel what it's like to do all that traveling. So, and, you know, that's, like I said, that's when I really fell in love with it. And that's when I was like 110%, like, I've got to find a way to make this happen. So,
Okay.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, in college, we had one goal. Myself, and my partner Nick Dumke, who was also from Grand Rapids, Minnesota, fished high school together, and also college. We had one goal, is to win Bassmaster Team of the Year, and we were able to do that our junior year. And what that does is it gets you to the classic bracket, which is what every college angler is striving for.
Yeah.
And yeah, made the bracket, and I somehow won that event, which is, you know, it's the sole reason where I'm at today. Like, I wouldn't have been able to afford the Opens or nothing, you know, without that tournament. So I'm super grateful for that and how it all worked out. And yeah, I mean, fished the Opens in 24, obviously had a really good year, and qualified for the elites this past year in 25. And yeah, since that bracket tournament, it's been just a complete whirlwind. You know, every childhood dream has come true for me. So it's been pretty crazy.
Dude, get out of here. Do you ever, not just these ball, dude, but like, do you ever just like, I don't know, press pause on life and like breathe and be like, holy shit, like this is my life. Like this is what I do. Like, is it weird? I don't know. Has it sunk in? Like, are you still super thankful?
Oh, I'm so thankful. And I think that's in part to, you know, all my health stuff that I went through. That's what really made me kind of set back and be like, you know, you got to take things in, you know what I mean? So if it wasn't for that, I'd still be thankful, but not to the point that I am today, and that I will continue to carry throughout my life. So yeah, it wasn't a good thing to happen, obviously, but I'm kind of grateful for it in a way to kind of, you know, show me to appreciate life.
Yeah, totally. Do you fish derbies back home, like local stuff still at all, like in Minnesota?
Yeah, when I go home to Minnesota in the summers, you know, I do a couple walleye tournaments with my dad still, and I jumped in a couple tournaments with my tournament partner Nick Dumke. And yeah, I'm always looking for something to fish. It's just it's what I feel weird when I'm not fishing. So
yeah, are people like stoked to see you at the ramp or like ticked?
Probably a little of both. There's probably a small crowd of each side.
Yeah, I think that's accurate for sure. Yeah. I love that, dude. Thanks for kind of sharing your story with us too. Golly, that's so authentic, man.
Heck yeah.
So let me ask you this, because you kind of mentioned it a little bit. We don't have to go way down that path. Whatever you want, man. You mentioned the medical stuff that you went through, and it was it a brain abscess? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Will you give us a little bit of kind of walkthrough on that? Because I don't know where you're at, and I'm not trying to proselytize or preach or whatever. I don't know where you stand in terms of like belief in God, and if you don't, ever. But what I know is in my own life, and I'm way older than you. But like sometimes God uses things that just feel so confusing, and then when you have time to look back on it, you're like, oh, okay, now I get. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
because there's a story in the Bible where it says that God will cut off like the diseased part of a tree, and even though it hurts the tree grows better long term. And like so sometimes I think those things happen, but while it's getting cut off, it's like, dang it, this hurts. I don't know. Like, yeah, walk us through a little bit of that, man, because it seems kind of maybe that's what happened to you.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, it was everything that's happened, to get me through that, and then beyond that, it was far beyond my control. It's something much higher than me that is happening, and going through that health scare is what really showed me like I'm not in control. It's not me that does all this. So
yeah,
super cool and eye-opening moment for me to go through that, and to just I was blown away. Sitting in the hospital bed thinking about that a little bit. It's pretty powerful, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a brain abscess that I had. What that is just it's a pocket of infection that's set up in my brain. And an abscess can be anywhere, not just your brain. But how it got there, the doctors think was I had a big sore in my mouth from brushing my teeth in the back of my mouth, and the kind of bacteria that was in my brain is a bacteria that lives in your mouth. So they think when that open sore was in my mouth, the bacteria just got in there, and it's not where it's supposed to be. So
wow,
body tries to fight it, and yeah, it just set up shop in my brain. So super rare deal, and it's just one of those freak things that just happens sometimes.
And what I know I've heard it. What was like the thing that kind of manifested that made you like, holy crap, something's wrong? Did you like freeze up, or you couldn't, or what happened that you knew something was like way off? Were you like paralyzed or something crazy?
No, we were practicing for a tournament on Pickwick. It was the Bassmaster National Championship for college. And I woke up one of the days for practice and just had this crazy headache. And I didn't think much of it at first. I get headaches all the time.
Okay.
It seems like if I'm tired or hungry or anything, I get a headache. So I didn't think much of it at the time. But yeah, as practice went on the next coming days, it just got worse and worse. And yeah, I got to the point where I passed out a couple times in the boat as I was idling those ledges looking for schools. So, and yeah, I just took ibuprofen and stuff, got through the event, and then moved into school because it was a week before school started. So I moved back to, Montevallo there where I went to school and got moved in, and, I wasn't leaving bed, wasn't doing nothing. And that's when my roommates, they were like, something's wrong here, because I'm someone that's always doing something. I can't sit still. So that's when they knew that something was up. So.
Wow. So
Gosh, yeah.
was it a hard, what's the word I'm looking for here? Was it hard for the doctors to diagnose what was going on, or did they like CAT scan you and figure it out pretty quick?
So I went in the first time, and they just thought it was, just you're like a migraine sort of thing. So they gave me steroid shots and then sent me home and told me to sleep it off. So I did.
Jeez.
And went to bed. When I got home that night, I felt really good. Like, I was convinced that it worked. So went to bed, and when I got up the next day, it was even worse. So that's when I went to a different hospital, and yeah, that's when they did the CT scan, and they saw it right away. And right after that, I was in the ambulance going to UAB. So
Jeez.
yeah, and then when I got there, they threw me in an MRI at like 3 a.m. And yeah, they saw they didn't know if it was an abscess or a tumor before the MRI. Just a CAT scan's not very clear, so they just knew something was in there. And then the MRI they saw was an abscess, and that's when they dove in with surgery right after.
Holy schmoly.
Yeah, that's wild.
I have like 50 kids. I love being a parent, and I'm hearing you say this, and my dad heart is like breaking. How were your involved in all this? Like, what were they coming down? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so there's a pretty cool write-up on Bassmaster. They did a whole interview with my parents through this whole thing. They were at the county fair in Minnesota when they got the news that all that was happening to me. So when that happened, they immediately jumped in the car and started driving from Minnesota to Alabama, and ended up being there pretty much not long after I woke up from surgery the next morning. Just they just drove straight through from Minnesota to Alabama, and yeah, they stayed with me down there for a week afterwards.
Jeepers creepers! Wow, dude. Sorry, Nate. Were you about to say?
No, that's incredible. I'm a little curious. Like you were saying that you were like idling some ledges and passed out. Like how long was that before like you passed out in the boat and then decided to go to the hospital? I feel like that's a pretty big deal
Well,
there.
one of the times I passed out, I don't know how long I was out, but when I came back to it, one of my teammates and roommates actually at the time, we were competing against him in the tournament, but he was in, because I guess another part of the story is me and Nick were practicing separate, so he was not with me as I'm passed out. So
Yeah,
it's a big part of the
Right.
story.
Jeez.
So I was alone. I was out. I don't know how long I was out, like I said, and I woke up and our roommate Brenton was in front of me fishing. So then I went over to him and explained to him what happened and all that, and he had some ibuprofen in his boat. So I took some ibuprofen and it helped until it wore off. So that's what I did throughout the rest of the tournament, was just take ibuprofen after ibuprofen to get me through.
Gosh,
So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
ibuprofen,
Jeez.
the brain abscess. So were you just idling? So you were in the cockpit, like you were sitting in the seat driving. I mean, at least you were on the front deck. Could have been worse. Which again, like not to get all preachy, homie, but like, there's so many ifs right there. Like it really feels like God kind of had this plan, like had his hand in it, even though in the moment it probably didn't feel like it. Like, wow, dude, that could have been so much worse, man. Sheesh.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I mean, when I was out too, the boat's still in gear. Like, who knows what I could have. There's no telling. So yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, I'm glad obviously I'm glad it worked out, but man, oh man, that's scary stuff. So let's take a hard left, Easton, while we got you on. Let's take a hard left. Tell us about the last good taco you ingested. Are you a taco fan?
I am a taco fan.
Yeah. Oh man.
Trying to think when the last one was.
Better tacos in Minnesota or Alabama?
Oh, Alabama, 100%.
Really? Okay. Oh, dang. Wow.
Yeah. I had these, actually, I was at a redfish tournament a couple weeks ago, and they had some really good, like, make your own tacos. They had some good steak and stuff. I'm a big steak and taco guy. I love steak.
Attaboy. 100%.
So, yeah, and it was just, they had all kinds of, like, crazy sides and stuff. I was just throwing stuff in there. I didn't even know what it was. It turned out good, so
That's
I don't really know what I'm doing when I'm making tacos, but sometimes they come out good, sometimes not. So, but all I know is I love steak. So.
Yeah, that's perfect, dude. Yeah. Matt was telling us from the Omnia episode about all these different steak spots in Minneapolis and like all these kind of like little underground spots. But yeah, apparently there's some good hole in the wall joints. But yeah, I used to live in Texas. I would probably have to agree. I think tacos are probably better in the South. They just have a better handle on it.
Yeah. Food in general, I think.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of a valid thing for sure. Are you a Vikings fan, Easton?
Huge Vikings fan.
So
huge Vikings and Timberwolves fan.
Okay, yeah, because me and Nate are both Packers fans. We got Vikings this Sunday. Give me this is not a sports podcast, but if you're a huge Vikings fan, give me your thought on JJ McCarthy.
I mean, I watched him all of Michigan because I always watch college football too, and I know he's got it. I think it's just in his head. Like he's got to get his head right, and I think he's good.
Yeah, I think he's. I was telling my boys about this. It's cool now. Like my oldest son, Dom, he's a JV quarterback for our school here, the high school here, and so now it's like he gets football a little bit more. Like he kind of like knowing plays and like seeing stuff, he can kind of talk the talk and grasp it a little more. And he's like, JJ McCarthy sucks. And I'm like, I don't think he does. I'm like, I think he's just kind of off rhythm. And then like, I think he's also kind of like, I'm not comparing him to this, but I think he's sort of Tim Tebow-ish in the way that he's a gamer. Like he'll will his way into getting some victories, just like Jackson Dart. Like, I don't think Jackson Dart's the greatest quarterback to walk the earth either, but he's a little more confident right now. And I think if JJ McCarthy gets that confidence back, and hopefully it's not this Sunday at Lambeau, I think he'll be all right. Like I think he'll be okay, actually. He's got a freaking squad of offensive weapons to throw the ball to.
That's the thing. The Vikings have had such a good team. We just need someone to throw the ball correctly. So if we can get that, we could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, who would think that stepping away from Sam Darnold would be a bad idea? Like, what in the world? Like, where did that resurgence come from?
There's no telling. And look at the year he's had so far this year.
What the heck? Like, what Sam Darnold? was like a joke for the longest time. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to switch gears to football there, but I just thought we jump in a little bit. Nate, give him some more taco questions. Let's talk tacos a little bit, then we'll talk the classic.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, we're on the football deal. You guys had Darnold and who's the other one? Daniel Jones, and they're both playing incredible right now. Yeah, so that's pretty wild. But so you mentioned protein wise, steak is your go-to. What about a topping? Any topping you have to have on a taco? Guacamole, salsa, hot sauce, anything like that?
I like hot sauce. I throw some salsa on it a lot of times, but yeah, that's about it. Honestly, just some lettuce.
Yeah,
I throw a lot of hot sauce. I like some zing to it.
You like spicy? Then you go pretty hot.
Yeah,
I like
spicy.
Are you a cilantro guy, Easton? Or are you like? I don't like to combine cilantro and lettuce. That seems weird. So when you say lettuce, I think you don't like cilantro, or do you like cilantro?
No, I like cilantro, but I'm never gonna go like out of my way to get it. You know what I mean?
Really?
But like, it's not like I don't like it. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense because I'm like the opposite. Like if I make any taco, beef, chicken, fish, steak, my favorite thing is to like blend the world of barbecue and tacos, sort of like pork butt or brisket or whatever, and then make it into a taco. But I have to have cilantro on it. It just doesn't feel like a taco without it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny too. Because
go ahead, Nate.
I was just gonna say that's funny because I know I can think just not this time, but a couple times ago I made some steak tacos here at the house, and like I got all the way through my first plate and went back for the second plate and was like, oh man, I forgot cilantro on the first 3 tacos and didn't even realize it. And I'm a cilantro fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessary. You don't have to have it. Brain, it just feels so taco-y. I don't know for sure. We Easton, we had a owner of a local taco place here on a long time ago. And we were like, what makes a good taco? And he was like, cilantro and onion. Like he just said it so quick, like no hesitation. So now my brain is sort of locked, like cilantro and onion. That's how you make a good taco. But I don't know. Do you like fish tacos at all, Easton?
Oh, I love fish. Anything fish, I'm all in.
Man, it's so good. Something about a fresh fish. Are you so let me ask you this too. You're Minnesota. Do you like ice fishing?
No.
No, not at all. You don't like it at all?
I like spearing for like northerns and stuff, but
yeah.
Ice fishing, like traditional. I mean, I'm good for 2 or 3 trips, and then bored.
Is it because? Let me ask you this. So, sorry, we're gonna go on a tangent here. So, like, all my homies at work, I work at a boat dealership. All my homies at work talk about ice fishing, and I think it's because I'm a bass fisherman and I'm just always on either the main motor or the trolling motor, and I'm moving around so much. So, ice fishing, you're just locked. You know what I'm saying? Is that why you don't like it, or what's your?
That's exactly why. It's just so hard to be mobile ice fishing.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah, and I always have this fear in the back of my head, like if I set up like the hut and the heater, and I have like my little like flasher, and I pop the holes and whatever, and then the fish aren't there. It's like, God dang it! It's like this whole thing to take it back down, put it in the sled, move it down, retry it. Whereas like if the fish aren't there bass fishing, I'll just fire up the motor and go flying across the lake or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not about to wait for the fish to come to me. I'm gonna go find them. So
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. The only reason I was asking about ice fishing is I think, and it may be in between my ears, I don't know, but I feel like fish through ice, like ice fishing fish taste better. I don't know if it's actually true. I don't know if it's because it's cleaner, colder water, but in my brain, like a crappie fillet through the ice in a taco is like the greatest thing in the world. But I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know.
I guess I haven't really studied it that much. That crappie's good regardless to me, I think. So but you might be right. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't had a fish through the ice in a couple of years now. So
really?
Yeah.
What the heck? All right. Fair enough. Nate, do you ice fish? I honestly don't know if I know the answer to this.
No, sir.
Is it because you're black?
No, sir. Mostly, no. No, I've gone a couple times, and yeah, it just was not for me. Like I was not a fan of it. And like the first time I went, I was like, you know what, this isn't that bad. And I bought a sled and a hand auger and a couple rods, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And I went another time, and I'm like, yeah, that was not for me. And so I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just need to have some like tacos this winter with ice fishing fish and see what's any better. I'm not really sure, but it seems better in my head. Yeah. So anyway, Easton, let me ask you another quick question about your background. Coming up with your dad being a Derby guy, you said walleye tournament when you go back home. Is your dad a bass or walleye tournament fisherman or?
My dad's I call him a multi-species guy. Whatever's biting, that's what he's gonna be chasing. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but he did fish a lot of walleye tournaments growing up, and I would say I got him a little bit more heavy into the bass side of things as I was growing up, just because I think it'd be different now with live scope and stuff. Walleye fishing's changed so much, but back then it was just a lot of trolling.
Yeah.
And like we just talked about, I'm all about action. I want to be on the front deck casting. So
Yeah.
that's what drew me to bass fishing when I was younger.
Okay, right on. Did you always have access? I'm not 100% sure how to word this. Did you always have access to like quality gear in terms of like boat, motor, all that kind of stuff?
I would say, I mean, we didn't have a bass boat till I was freshman or sophomore in high school. We had just a aluminum tiller boat, but I mean, my dad, as I was growing up, he had me all set up with first it was a paddle boat, and so we lived on a super small lake growing up,
Oh, that's
and I had a paddle boat, and there was this one tree directly across the lake that always, I mean, I caught fish out of that thing every single day. Like, there's no telling. So,
can you like in your head right now that tree?
yeah, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
can
that's
I can
awesome.
picture every limb on that tree still.
Yeah,
I had it studied.
that's awesome.
But I took the paddle boat across every day, and I'd catch my fish, and I'd go back, and I'd always be upset when it was windy and stuff because it'd take forever. So I remember when my dad got me set up with a 10-foot plastic john boat with a trolling motor on it. It went like 4 or 5 miles an hour, the little trolling motor. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever. I could just zip over to that tree and wherever I wanted. And then I remember from there, I went to a 14-foot little lawn with a 15 horse, and that was like the greatest thing ever.
Absolutely.
And then from there, it was a 16-foot boat with a 50 horse, and that's when I got to go in a little bit bigger lakes. And yeah, he just slowly progressed me up and up and up to these. I mean, they were older rigs, but every time I got an upgrade, I was just like the greatest day ever. So
Yeah.
yeah, in high school it was a '96 Bass Cat with a 200 Mercury on it.
Okay.
And that's what we fished in high school. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool how I was brought up, I think, and just every I got to learn like these new boundaries and stuff, just stuff I haven't been able to break down before. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
And
smart.
yeah, I mean, we had one of my dad's best buddies had a bass boat when we were growing up, so it was like the best day ever. Because I mean, it went like 60 miles an hour, and back then to me, that was like the coolest thing ever. So
Yeah. Moving. Yeah.
remember when my dad picked me up from
Yeah.
school, he was like, "You want to go on the bass boat today?" Those were like the best days ever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. How did you,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, when did you get put on with like Peter Yamaha and all that? And then, I mean, I don't know, like, do you think you could just fish out of anything at this point still? Or are you pretty locked into having like a big rig bass boat? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't know. I've flirted with the idea. My boat's for sale right now. I have a Legend V20 and I love that boat so much. The giant deck, tackle storage, 250, moving fast, live scope, all that good stuff. But I also feel like if you put me on a lake with like a 12-foot John boat, I'd still be happy as a clam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, tell me about your boat. And then does it really make that much of a difference in a weird way?
So I guess the reason I went with Skeeter Yamaha was like I mentioned, my dad had a tiller growing up, and it always had a Yamaha on it.
Oh,
And
okay.
it just, I mean, I don't remember him having a single issue all those years growing up with that tiller boat. So, I mean, that just going back to that, just thinking about that, growing up with it, that's what really, I've had a love for Yamaha since day one. So when I qualified and stuff, that was my biggest thing was I knew I wanted to run a Yamaha. And Skeeter actually approached me when I was like 2 events into finishing the open season, and I'd fished out of a couple Skeeters and stuff before, and I'd really liked them, and I knew just the people behind it were just high quality people, and
Mhm.
that's what I've tried to do. The biggest thing with all my sponsors and stuff is I just want to look at, obviously I want to like the product, but I'm looking at the people too, like are these is this someone that I can build a good relationship with and that sort of thing. So obviously I saw that with Skeeters, so it was pretty much a no-brainer when they reached out. I was going to make it happen. And yeah, I mean, this is my second Skeeter I fished out of this year. And yeah, I mean, the boat's been awesome and the people have been even better. So I couldn't be happier with Skeeter, and I don't see myself probably leaving ever.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. I love that. Nate,
What Yeah, I want to know what's something you love about the Skeeter that wouldn't be considered like mainstream, like, everybody always talks about, rough rides and, that takes on big waves, like something that's not quite mainstream that you'd consider you love about the Skeeter.
I mean, it's small to most people, but to me, it's big. It's the way the live wells open. They open to the sides, not front and back, and then the battery compartments too. You can open them up. So, if you're smart about it and open the live well lids and the compartment lids in the back, you're never losing a fish when you're bagging them out. Like they put,
Hmm.
it's a lot of thought and stuff that they put into that. Just the way it's all laid
Yeah.
out back there, and yeah, I mean that's a big thing I like because it's like my worst fear ever is losing a fish that could mean everything. So.
I
Yeah.
think I saw Scott Martin show that off a couple different times in some of his videos, and yeah, that is a slick way it folds up and like the lids wrap around, and yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that is really smart. Yeah. Anything new coming out for Skeeter? Any insider tips or anything?
Well, they came out with the ZXE very
Mhm.
recently. It's the line of boats below the FXR, and yeah, I mean they're great boats. I did a photo shoot with them. Got to zip them all over the lake and stuff. It was
Oh,
super
that's
fun, and they're super cool layouts and stuff. And yeah, I mean the FXR is their makeover is not long afterwards, so I'm super excited for that. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean my boat this year, there's just super small like cosmetic differences, nothing crazy. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, the makeover of the FXR is like the ZXE is going to be probably pretty soon.
That's dope, dude. Who designs your wraps and stuff?
I go through VFX. That's a bunch of pros go through them. They're
Yeah.
based out of New Jersey, but they travel all over the place.
I knew they make them. They design yours as well.
Yeah, they design mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
that's good.
actually in the process of designing next year's right now. I'm trying to get it wrapped the first week of December. So
Okay. Are you the dude like another Minnesota guy? I mean, can I call you Minnesota guy if you're living in Alabama? Like, is it okay to call you that stuff?
oh yeah,
Okay, right on. Yeah, I don't want to like offend you. Like, I'm Alabama now, dude.
no, I'm
But
still Minnesota.
yeah, for sure. Like the homie Bob Downey, like his wrap every year. Number one, I just think it looks stupid clean. Like that, he does like that black with like that kind of like tannish greenish on the front, but it's like minimal changes every year. Like it's not wholesale. Are you that guy, or are you gonna like totally change it year in year out, like design?
The design's going to be relatively the same.
Okay.
So it'll be like the black and red kind of, the black background camo.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to do a couple different lines and stuff, just kind of spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit different. But overall, it'll be basically the same.
Yeah. So going back to like what we talked about earlier, like do you ever pinch yourself? Like this is your life. Like this is crazy. How do you feel when like people come? You said Skeeter, like that's a gigantic company with a giganticer company, Yamaha backing them, and they come to you like, dude, we want you to fish out of our boats. Can you explain the feeling of that or what that's like for you?
I mean, it's because they came to me, like I said, I wasn't even qualified for the elites yet. So
Yeah.
they called me. I remember I was at Leech Lake when they called me, and I was just sitting in my truck, like talking to them, and I was like, guys, listen, like I haven't even qualified yet. What happens if I don't qualify? And they're like, no, we got you. And that's when I was just like,
Really?
holy moly, this is awesome. So
Huh.
yeah, they say they had confidence in me qualifying, but even if I didn't, I think they were a fan of who I was and stuff. Because
Wow.
the guy at the time for Yamaha, his name was Lucas King. He's actually from Minnesota, so he knew of me for quite some time. So yeah, I mean, it was just super cool, that conversation. That was like my first like real deal like sponsored conversation I'd ever had. So it was super cool for me.
Dang it, that's cool. And can I not to be a total dork about it? How old were you when they stepped you?
I mean, I think I was either 21. I was 22. I think I was freshly 22.
My gosh.
Yeah.
22 is a baby. Like you're a grown ass man.
Uh,
But like 22 talking to daggum Yamaha Skeeter, and in the bass fishing world, it's not NBA. Like you don't have agents and whatever. I mean, I know some people have kind of people that help them with business stuff, wives or whoever, but that's wild, dude. Do you get a lot of if I cross the line here and you have to tell me we can't talk about this, you can just tell me. But do you get a lot of other sponsors? Like do you have to say no to some folk? Like,
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I do have to say no to some. I would say it was more last year, actually, when I was still fresh in the game. But now I kind of have my people. I think a lot of new sponsors kind of respect that and kind of just think you're going to stay, with who you got. So,
yeah.
But yes, when I did win the Classic and stuff, I did have quite a few
Yeah.
kind of approach me and just ask if I'd entertain it. So
Yeah. And is that your decision to make? I mean, do you consult with your family? Do you consult with your other sponsors? Or how does that look?
I consult with my family a little bit, but I pretty much run my show and just kind of follow my gut and do what feels right. But yeah, like I said, I kind of have my base right now with sponsors, and I really want to just stay with who I have and kind of grow with them as kind of the model that I'm trying to run now. So yeah, I'm doing my best not to branch out and stay loyal.
Well, you got some big ones, and you have some great sponsors, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
The Strike King stuff and Skeeter and Omnia, like these are not small companies. So that's awesome. People always say that thing, Easton, like I couldn't do this without my sponsors. Is that true for you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I said, it was that bracket tournament that set me up, and now it's the sponsors that's keeping me going. So yeah, would not be even close to possible without them.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, let's do one thing. Let's if you're okay with it, time wise. What is it? Are you ahead of us there, like an hour, or are you central?
I'm central. We're good.
Okay, right on. I don't want to keep you up too late if you're trying to hit the lake tomorrow morning early. Good luck at that first stop, of course. When is that? February 4th?
First week of February, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Let's do a stupid game that we call one of your favorites, where Nate and I just rattle off random things. It might be fishing, might not be fishing. Doesn't have to be your number one favorite, but just we say something, it's one of your favorites. And then after that, we'll talk about the classic and we'll get you out of here. But again, man, thank you for being on our goofy show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, let's do it.
One of your favorites.
All right, Easton, you said you enjoy the road trip life. What is one of your favorite road trip snacks?
Big granola bar guy.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind? You got a brand? You got are you a chocolate chip guy? What do you like?
I'm a chocolate chip guy, and it's usually I think it's Sunbelt. I think it's
Classic. Yeah, classic. Okay, I like that you didn't come up with some super like fancy organic $12 granola bar like that.
No.
That's perfect. I like it.
Yeah, one of your favorite fast food stops on the road.
Chick-fil-A, without a doubt. It's not even close.
Dude, don't you want Chick-fil-A every effing Sunday though? Every Sunday.
That's when you seem like you want it the most, is on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I used to live in Atlanta where they're on like every corner, like Starbucks everywhere else. And like one time, I can't tell you how many times me and my friend Roberto, when I lived down there, we would go like to the Chick-fil-A, like pull on the door. Like, oh yeah, Sunday. Dang it.
Yeah.
What's
it always dawns on you when it's too late. You're pulling in, or like you said, you're standing at the door.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, dang it. Yeah. I respect it though. I respect their conviction, but what's one of your favorite movies?
Probably Top Gun is my favorite.
Really?
Top Gun Maverick, yeah.
Okay, I like the newer one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Right on.
So being a road trip guy, is it music or podcasts that you're listening to?
I would say it's 90% music, but when it gets like late at night and stuff, and I need my mind moving, I'll switch to podcasts when I start getting sleepy or something.
Yeah, that's tough. Do you like serious podcasts, or do you ever listen to goofy ones to keep you awake?
It's almost always fishing ones for me. That's what keeps me my mind moving.
Yeah, for me, like if sometimes like I'm the same way, hunting or fishing podcasts, I love that stuff. But like if my mind, like if I'm driving late at night and I'm still tired, I'll find something stupid, like something that people are trying to be stupid, but it's stupid, like Sasquatch Chronicles, or like there's this one called Coast to Coast, where it's like people claiming they've had like these weird spiritual encounters with like thunderbirds, or it's absolute nonsense. It's horse crap. But they don't think it is, so it gets really funny and it'll make me laugh and I'll stay awake. But all right, so you said music. What's one of your favorite things? Like if you had a go-to music, it could be a band, an artist, whatever. What do you listen to?
My go-to right now is Whiskey Myers.
Really? Okay, that's what's up. Good sound. Yeah, I like that sound. Yeah.
Okay. One of your favorite power fishing techniques?
Power fishing.
Swing
I'm
head.
gonna go with spinnerbait.
Yeah.
Spinnerbait if it's dirty water, chatterbait if it's cleaner water.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. One of your favorite, I feel like just from watching you, I feel like I probably know the answer to this, but we'll go the opposite. What's one of your favorite finesse techniques?
Nico rig.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were gonna say. I can't imagine why, but yeah.
What's the bait? What's the bait?
For me, it's a striking finesse worm, red bug color.
Yeah,
Red
I
bug.
can't imagine why.
I mean,
When you
obviously the classic, but I also top 10 2 elite events on it after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was super good for me this year.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. All right, Nate, I think you're up, and then we'll do a couple more, and we'll go on to the classic talk.
Yeah. So one of your favorite, I guess, pastimes that doesn't include fishing.
Playing basketball.
Really? Did you
I
play
love playing basketball.
stuff?
What's that?
Did you play in like high school and stuff?
I did, yeah.
Really?
I was basketball and baseball in high school.
Are you? So I don't know you like on this level. You look tall. Are you tall?
Yeah, I'm 6'5".
Are you
I'm pretty-
6'5"?
I'm pretty tall, yeah.
I would have said like 6'2".
Pretty. No, that's
Yeah.
quite tall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I'm gonna sound so old and white and stupid, but I don't care because I am all of those things. Can you dunk?
Oh, I can throw it down, yeah.
Oh, I can't. Love that, dude. That's dope as heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm coaching my son's basketball team. So I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow. Try to get some pointers. We got a game on Sunday, and I need all the help I can get.
Walk me. Nate'll put you on some flathead spots on Gunnersville. You can show him how to play basketball.
Yeah.
It's a good
That's awesome.
skills. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go something stupid. What's one of your favorite toothpastes to use?
I'm just a Colgate guy. I don't
Just
get
keep-
fancy there.
I can respect that. All right, one more from you, Nate, and then we'll roll out of here.
Favorite lose product.
I mean, the one I use the most, their custom weight spinning reel, 300 size. It's probably my favorite.
300
yeah.
size too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good reel. I think I've shared this story on here before, but a couple years ago, was it years? I don't remember. But I was trying to get more into the finesse game, and I bought this. I think it's really dope. It's a St. Croix Mojo Bass 2 7'4" medium light, and I was going through all these reels that I was trying at Cabela's, like expensive, like Shimano. Not that the custom light's cheap, it's not, but it's not as high as some stuff. You know, it's not a Stella. You know what I'm saying? It's not will exist or whatever. And I was reeling through all these real expensive reels, and then I felt that one, and I was like, dude, this thing is dope. Like it for them. And I'm not sponsored by Strike King or Lose or any of these, you know, kind of together companies, but like that reel feels awesome in your hands. Like the weight of it, the balance of it, the drag feels really good. It's smoother than snot. Yeah, it's a good reel, man. It's really good.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's that one.
One of your favorites.
All right, so obviously you made mention of it. This is an easy segue. This is an easy kind of transition through here. But you talked about the red bug on the finesse worm and the whatever. Let's talk about the classic, man. Obviously, if you bass fish at all, if you ever watch Bass Masters, if you ever watched, Bob Cobb, and speaking of which, do you ever watch? Do you know the Lynn Dollar channel on YouTube?
Oh, I've spent so much time on that channel.
So cool, man. I'm talking about the clothes, the boats, the announcers, the super shaky ass helicopter footage where they're going over the lake and everything is moving because they didn't have drones back then. And like,
So there's a Lynn Dollar video from 2015. It's a classic weigh-in video, and they show I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they show the full weigh-in. It's like 2 hours long. It's it's the Super 6. It's all the angler introductions. And but growing up, I had a playlist on YouTube. It's just called Fish, but I have all of like the highlight fish catches. Like there's a bunch of fighter on there of like Cayuga, flipping, and I mean the talk video, the Hackney Godzilla video. I have just a playlist of all like the top videos.
yeah.
And laying in bed at night growing up, I'd always watch those videos. But that classic video was in there.
Yep.
And I remember just the crazy music and the Super 6 introductions, and just thinking how cool that was growing up. So yeah.
It's the coolest. I mean, anybody who cares about this sport knows that feeling. And it's, I would say maybe not on the same scale, but the same probably like ratio or percentage. Kids who dream of throwing the game-winning touchdown, kids who dream of making the game-winning three-pointer in the NBA, the percentage of kids who dream about that to the kids who actually get on that stage, it's, one in maybe a million, literally. And here you are actually daggum doing it. Walk us through, in whatever specificity you want, your classic experience this year.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go through practice super briefly. I went there and pre-practiced in December. It goes off limits every year, January 1st. So I put it 4 days in, I think, in December. Caught some nice ones, but honestly, I just looked around because Ray Roberts has a bunch of standing timber. So all I wanted to do was find boating lanes through all the timber, so I didn't have to do that in practice and waste a bunch of time doing that. So
Yeah, fair.
that was my main goal, and I accomplished that. And then I fished most of the last day and found 2 areas that I thought had good populations of big ones. So I left there pretty happy with what I had found and what I had accomplished. So going into practice, official practice for the event, my game plan was to find those populations of fish that I left in pre-practice, and hopefully find kind of how far along in the spawn process they are. And then I was hoping to be able to duplicate it all across the lake. And it took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, to find the first population. Caught like a high 7-pounder, like a great big one, and there was more with it. And that was the first clue. Like, okay, they're this far out into the pockets, but they're on classic staging areas to go in and spawn. So then I went and duplicated it across the lake, and by the end of practice, I had 5 areas that what I felt had really good fish. So day 1 of the tournament, got off hot, caught a high 6-pounder, 6 3/4 pounder, and like a 4 real quick. And then from then on it was a grind, but just grinded it out in that one area because it was so windy in the main lake. And I ended up with just under 25 pounds. I was in 3rd place, so super good start, and I felt good because, like I said, I only fished 1 out of the 5 areas that I'd found, so I had more to untap, I felt like. So
Can I ask you 2 real quick questions, just like qualifying questions? So,
yeah.
in practice, were you throwing the same stuff? Were you Nico rigging mostly, or did you?
Yeah, so in practice, I caught some good ones on a jerk bait, and I tried doing the whole minnow deal, but I realized really quickly that's not the most efficient thing going for how they were set up on that stuff. So that's what made me pick up the Nico and really pick apart some of those trees that they were sitting in. And I also caught some flipping, just a 1/2-ounce jig into the middle of those trees, kind of by the actual stalk of the tree. I had kind of a 3-pronged approach going into the event.
That's smart. Yeah, because you kind of have both. You have a bunch of bases there. I mean, between jerk bait, jig, and you kind of, and then Nico, you got finesse, power, patience, kind of slow her down. That's smart. And then the other question I had is, so this might not make sense at first, but hopefully I can make this make sense. I really like snowboarding, more like street snowboarding, doing handrails and all that kind of stuff. I'm very old now, so like I'm brittle and I break easy. But back in the day, I would do a lot of stuff, and if I got close on a trick, like on a handrail, I couldn't allow my brain to go into like, dude, if I don't get this, I'm going to get hurt. But it was more like, dude, if I get this, this is going to be awesome. Like, this is going to be so dope if I get this. After the first day of the classic, what is your mindset? Are you on the optimistic, like, dude, this is a possibility? Or is it like, dude, I hope I don't mess this up? Or like, what's going on in between your ears?
I knew it was a possibility. I knew what I was around because obviously we can see them on the forward facing and stuff, and seeing them and catching them is 2 completely different things. But I knew what I was around, so I was pretty optimistic. Obviously, I had the thoughts creeping in my mind, like if I did do this, like how big it would be, kind of thing. But I was doing my best to block that out. So, but I was pretty excited after day 1, especially since I only hit one of my areas. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you go into day 2.
Heck yeah.
How does that start? How does that go?
Yeah, so day 2, I go into the area where I caught them in day 1, and I caught 2 fish, I think. One like 2.5, and maybe like a 4-pounder or something. And it just, it wasn't happening. So real quick, like 9 o'clock, I pulled the plug on that area and went to investigate one of my other areas, and I start idling in there. There was a decent idle, maybe a 5-minute idle to get in there. As I'm idling through this timber and going over stumps and all this, and like I can see in the distance just a crowd of boats. Like there's boats everywhere. So I'm just like what's going on over there? And I get closer, and then I'm like thinking, like, can I go in there? And I was like, I'm in 3rd place in the classic. Of course you can go in there. So I'm like, I'm going, and sure enough, I can see through, like, beyond the crowd of boats, Lee Livesey, and on the other side of the crowd of boats is Ben Milliken. So 2 pretty high-profile Texas dudes. But Lee was in the very back of the pocket, and I did my best to, stay out of his way because he was there first, obviously. And yeah, I mean, the area is big enough where we were doing our own things and wasn't hurting each other. So yeah, as soon as I got kind of situated in there, I mean, it was fireworks immediately. Like before I knew it, I had 27 pounds. Like, I mean, they were just everywhere and biting. So
What a statement! Before I knew it,
Gosh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And yeah, I mean, I left there with just under 28 pounds. That's what my scale said. So
and
I got
so
to a point.
wrong. Easton Lee wasn't really on him though, right?
Lee had he had said at the I guess I didn't know it at the time, but looking back at it, he said he made a big adjustment at the end of day one because we started in the same spot on day one,
Mhm.
and then I saw him here on day two. So just kind of putting the puzzle pieces together. I think
Yeah.
because he said he made a late day adjustment. I think he found those fish or stumbled onto it like kind of like I did late on day one, and then day two he had a pretty good day. I think he was definitely in the top 10, maybe even top 5 after day two. So
remember.
he was up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I left my spot at 9. Probably got in there at 9:30, and I was done by noon. Left there with almost 28 at noon, and I went and practiced the rest of the day. And
That's so dope.
yeah, upgraded one more time and found another area. So I was able to add more ammo to my toolbox, and yeah, I mean, made one more upgrade while doing it. So that's when I was really like this could be working out sort of deal. But I knew it's Texas, and stuff can happen. So I was trying not to get too ahead of myself. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a really good feeling.
When you're at the weigh-in and Dave Mercer is talking a lot, which he is paid to do and enjoys doing apparently, are you hearing him talk, or is it like Charlie Brown, like wah 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 wah, like you know what I'm saying? Like, is your heart beating? Are you focused on the next day? Are you retrospecting the day of? Like, what's the mindset there? I've always
Yeah,
wondered.
so all of the classic week, there's just this unbelievable adrenaline. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you get no sleep in the classic, and
Yeah.
I mean, we do stuff all day long, all week, and then I was staying an hour and a half away. I was staying at the lake. I wasn't staying in Dallas there, so
Mhm.
we'd get done at 8 o'clock, and I'd drive an hour and a half back and fill up with gas and do all that. And I mean, every night before you know it, it's 11 o'clock, and you're getting up at super early, 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
doing it again. So, but yeah, to get back to, I mean, after day one, when I had 25 pounds, I was kind of chill. Like, I didn't really know exactly where I'd be sitting. I was in third place, and then day two, that's when I was trying to rig rods, because you sit in the boat parking lot outside the arena before you go weigh in. And day one, I was like getting all rigged, like ready to go, and I was trying to do that on day two, and I was shaking so bad I couldn't tie a knot. Like, I mean, I couldn't put the line through my eye in the hook. Like,
I mean,
it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember as going through weigh-in, I was just like, there's like guys trying to talk to me, and I'm like you hear my voice, I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to focus. I'd be like, wait, what'd you say again? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievable, just
Yeah.
shaking. It was
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy. And then, yeah, I mean, like I said, just crazy adrenaline. You're tired, but you don't know you're tired just because you're so fired up. I mean, it's a crazy week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So then you go into the third day, the final day.
Yeah. So the third day, like I said, I found a spot on the afternoon of day two that I was really excited about.
Mhm.
Started there on day three. And then nothing was happening. I mean, nothing. So then I left there. Let's see, where'd I go from there? I think I went where I caught him day one. Yeah. And I think I caught one keeper in there, like a 4-pounder, like a decent one.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I take that back. I went so I checked 2 spots, that spot I started, and then the spot where I caught him day one, and I didn't catch anything in either spots. And then it was 9:30, 10 o'clock before I even caught a fish on day three.
Wow.
Went to right where I caught him on day two, and I caught my first one, like a 4-pounder. And then I went back to where I caught him day one, and I caught 3 more. And I had 4 fish for like 14 pounds. And before I know it, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and that's when I start freaking out. Like, I have 14 pounds. I know the door's wide open. Like, I've got to at least get a fifth keeper. Hopefully, it's a 5-pounder, and I can, try to make it hard for someone else to beat me. You know what I mean? So before I know it, I'm at this bridge of a decision. Do I go where I caught him day 2, or do I go where I caught him that new spot that I found the afternoon of day 2? And it was just the waves are just crashing in, super windy. I decided to go where the spot that I found the afternoon of day 2 because it was halfway towards the ramp. It was kind of adjacent to it. So
Okay. Is that the only reason you went to it? It wasn't like you thought it'd be better, but it was more or less just like easier, quicker to get to, or?
I mean, it definitely helped with the decision, but
Yeah.
it was a gut move. Something was telling me to go there,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
that's what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, pulled in there and kind of fished around, and got to the very back of the pocket and saw these. There's 2 great big ones just sitting in a perfect cedar tree in the middle of the pocket. And yeah, I mean, I knew they were giant. I told my camera guy they're both 8-pounders. Like, knew that it was the fish to win.
Yeah.
And I got pulled down upwind from them. Got all situated on them because it was super technical, like what I was doing. Because these fish, it's a forest that I'm catching them out of. There's trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And your cast angles were huge and your boat positioning. So when you hook them, they don't get wrapped. I mean, there was a lot to it. So
Yeah.
got my boat situated where I thought was best upwind, so the boat wasn't drifting around. And like I said, got all situated. And finally, after probably 15 minutes of casting at that fish, I was able to catch it and get it out of there. And that ended up being 8 pounds and an ounce. And yeah, from then on, I was doing the math in my head. I had 22 and a half pounds or so, had an 8-pound lead, so I knew Corey would have to have the biggest bag of the tournament to beat me. So I knew the odds were definitely in my favor after I caught that fish. I mean,
Gosh.
yeah, I mean, you could see the reaction.
Are you trying to like stay calm in your head, or are you just like, F it, I'm about to win the classic, or like what's going through your brain at that point?
That was the fish. That was the fish too, where you like laid back on the deck, right? Like
Yeah,
just like
yeah, that was the one.
yeah.
And you caught,
I mean,
and you caught that one on the Nico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no horsing it. You had to actually fight that thing in. I mean, Rod doubled over, and I think that's the one we were talking beforehand, where I was texting with Matt, the Omnia guy, and being like, "Did you see that fish Easton just caught?" Like, I was freaking out. He was freaking out. My boy Vinny was jumping up and down cheering. Like, we were all in, dude. That was an awesome moment.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's so cool to hear everyone's like where they're at and what they were doing during that catch.
Yeah.
I got to hear so many perspectives. It's
well,
so
plus
awesome.
it wasn't a jig on 2 feet of water under a dock. Like, it was a fight. Like, it wasn't like it was a. I mean, that was a tussle, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, to answer your question, like I said, I knew I had a really good shot, but that's, you can see me like freak out, but then I'm like, I knew there was another fish in that tree for one, and then I'm like, the doors, like, it's still possible for someone to beat me, and then and at the same time, I was quite a ways away from the ramp still, and I didn't have much time left, so
Sure.
I only fished for probably 5 minutes after I caught that one and had to go in, but yeah, I mean, I knew if someone did beat me, they definitely earned it. So I mean, that's all you can ask for at the classic. So
yeah,
it's a super emotional time for me.
Man, gosh, that's cool. This is so cool to hear from your perspective. Like, being a fan of the sport, of the whole culture, and like watching it, and then now to hear your mindset through it. That's freaking awesome, dude. And then again, kind of a question I already asked you, but so then similar, you win. You win the daggone Bassmaster Classic. I also like on like the old like Lynn Dollar videos and the older where they used to call it the Bassmasters Classic. I don't know. I like how I think that the Bassmasters Classic, even though it sounds like dubious grammar. But so you win the Classic and you're up there. What's going on in your head? Are you hearing stuff? Are you absorbing stuff? Are you in shock? Like what's that like?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm getting took into the arena, and I'm getting interviewed like crazy, just shaking, and then yeah, they get me on stage, and I remember just watching that computer after I brought the fish up, and it says needs 14 pounds, and that's when I knew, like,
you're like, well, I got that.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And then my weight showed up on the screen, and that's when the shock hit. Like holy cow, like it happened. And it was just like, at that time, I could hear like all the cheering and celebration and that, and then. But when Justin Hamner handed me the trophy, it was like everything went silent. That's when I kind of like blacked out, and just all these thoughts were running through my head, and thinking about like the the hospital bed and college fishing, and
Wow.
made eye contact with my partner Nick Dumke, who I fished with in college. He was in the crowd, so that was a cool moment. I mean, it was probably only like 30 seconds or a minute, but it was just like, I mean, so many thoughts went through my head in that short of time frame. So I mean,
Mhm.
but like I said, in my head, it was just like a super peaceful time. I mean, it was so hard to explain, but it was, I mean, something I'll never forget, obviously.
Golly, dude. I'm
Heck yeah.
not an emotional guy. I'm getting chills, man. That's beautiful that you like
Yeah.
all those things go flip, 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 go spinning through your brain in that moment. And honestly, like that's pretty cool. That's cool that they did. Because like I said, you know, like sometimes God puts us through some stuff and we don't get it at first, and then we look back and we go, okay, now I get it. And yeah, like you said, maybe that appreciation wouldn't be there had you not gone through that hospital stuff, or maybe the drive, like that grind, wasn't there until you went through it. Who knows? I don't know. Wow, dude, that's powerful. That's powerful. Nate, you got any questions?
Man, no, that was awesome. I just want to know, how heavy is the trophy?
Good one.
I mean, it's heavy. I know that.
Yeah.
I haven't weighed it, but I mean, it's like my family members and like my mom grabbed it and she's like struggling to hold it. Like, how'd you put this over your head type deal? So yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's heavy.
That's cute.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome.
So if you
remember I got my show and tell thing.
yeah, I was just about to ask you what you got for show and tell.
It has to do with classic, so this is
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Let's see it. A horseshoe?
So the backstory to this, yes.
Hear it. Yeah.
We were in Dallas, Fort Worth, and there's the stockyards there in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And we went there as a family the night before the classic, and you know we watched the I forget what they call it. We're all like the giant, longhorns come running down the. We watched all that happen, and then I didn't know at the time, but we got home and I'm doing my final rigging for the event, and my dad comes out to the boat and sets this horseshoe in it and says, "I got this for you. Put it in your boat somewhere."
Lucky horseshoe.
Yeah. So. Yeah, obviously, I got it out of my old boat, and it's already in this year's boat. So, yeah, it's something I'll take with me forever.
Dude, that's sweet, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, you need to come up with like your own, I don't know, Strike King worm and call it the horseshoe, or like a colorway, or you know what I'm saying? Because that's way too cool.
I do need to do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
so yeah. It's crazy how something that small can mean that much to me. After all that.
Yeah, I love that, dude. That's really neat. Thanks for sharing that. That's really. So let me ask you one more question, and then Nate, if you have anything else, then we'll let Easton get some sleep before he breaks down Gunnersville tomorrow. If you could snap your fingers right now, Easton, and next year you get to pick win Angler of the Year or win another classic, what would you pick?
That's hard because I want Angler of the Year so bad.
Yeah.
I'll probably do a classic. I mean, that's the weird thing about Bassmaster is Angler of the Year, without a doubt, is harder to do, but it's almost like the classic means more.
And the classic
to the industry, you know what I mean?
Age, it feels bigger, even if it's not as difficult. Although it's hard to say the classic's not difficult, obviously. But
right. But I mean, it's just one event as opposed to 9 events,
right?
Of the best. So I mean, I'd pick another classic, honestly.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprised by that, but I like it. I think I would too if I was in your shoes. I mean,
like I said, the Angler of the Year is like the #1 next goal on my mind.
That's a wild.
Which is why I'm here at Gunnersville.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get those Johnstons out of there, dude. They can't keep on. Canada can't keep on winning our trophy. Like, what the frick?
That's a tall task, but I'm doing my best.
The two Jeepers.
As long as I can have a different start than I had last year, we can make headway.
Yeah. Are you speaking of your start last year? Are you the dude? Do you get shook by not performing well all the time?
I don't think I get shook. It just serves as an extra motivator, I think. Like, I was quite the unhappy fella as I rolled into the classic, and I think it helped me because I was mad at him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Yeah, I mean, there's not more sport than
so competitive. Like, it's bad how competitive I am.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's good though. I mean, and you know, if you can harness it, like if you're the competitive dude who's just a douchebag because you compete about stuff that doesn't matter, that's one thing. But if you're competitive in a way that you can channel it and like harness it and do something with it, that's powerful. Like that's a tool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's part of what it takes to be on the elites. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to hate losing, and that's got to be your main driver. So,
yeah. Good advice. Yeah, that's really good advice. I was going to ask you, what's something about being a pro fisherman that is different than people think, but maybe that's it. Just hate losing so much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's the competitive side of things. You also got to have this, this inner confidence in yourself, because as soon as you lose that, we saw what happened in Florida. That's exactly what happened to me. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's both those two things, and yeah, I mean, work ethic, confidence, and competitiveness.
You should reach out to JJ McCarthy. Maybe you can get him to be confident again, and you guys can stop being sick or whatever you are.
I think with KOC, Kevin O'Connell, he'll be fine. He just needs time.
Maybe we'll see. I hope not. Nate, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I don't. I think that's it, man. He's you've killed it for us today, Easton. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This is fun.
Yeah, heck yeah. We really appreciate it, man. You can go ahead and hang up, and bottom of our hearts, man. Thank you for jumping on our show, for real.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And I'm going to hit you up about them basketball tips too, I promise.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
And see you later.
Guys.
All right, so that was the Bassmaster Classic champion, Easton Fothergill. It's funny, if I'm being totally honest, watching other podcasts with him, listening to him speak before, I thought he was just kind of a quiet guy. He's not. He's just sort of like Jordan Love. He's like this very sort of like level, like he said, he might be hyper competitive, but the way that he communicates is like this is a sort of like chill vibe. I thought he was on his crap to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a blast. Yeah, some awesome stories from an awesome dude who's, like you said, gone through some incredible stuff, and to have the outlook he's got, and fishing the way he's fishing, I got faith in him next year. It's gonna be a good season for him.
Yeah, it's always cool when you get to kind of peek behind the curtain and the dude you see back there is as good or better than what you thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Like just who he is as a man, and he's young. He's super young. Like that conversation he said he had when he was like 21 or 22 with like the big wigs at Skeeter. If I was 21 or 22 having a conversation with big wigs at Skeeter Yamaha, I'd be like, yeah, bro, give me like 50 boats. Like I'd be an idiot. Like I'd be so stupid. They probably, you know what? Never mind. They probably get out of that conversation with me and be like, never mind. We're not sponsoring him. He's stupid. But Easton's got this maturity and this like cool, calm, collected vibe. What a cool dude, man. And hearing him talk about his medical stuff and how that sort of what's that presupposition, like where things start where they end or end where they start, like the presupposed, like he's having flashbacks of that medical stuff while he's on the classic stage.
Yeah.
Dude, powerful.
Yeah, just like in the movies where everything goes in slow motion and memories start filing through and tick 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 and thinking about all the things, like to hear him say that that like actually happened to him, and that's awesome.
That's just cool. Like that's neat.
Yeah.
And he's got such a level head on his shoulders. Like nothing about him came across as cocky or presumptuous, and I love that. I wish him nothing but the best of luck next year. And I think the way he's approaching it is right. I think his view on sponsors, like have a few sponsors that I really believe in that I plan to keep long term. That's not what everybody does, but I think more people should. I always respect, like when we spoke with Gussie, and he's been a part of Lund since he was like 18 or something, and now he's 40 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that kind of stuff. And so Easton being like, I don't see myself ever fishing out of anything other than a Skeeter. Well, good for you, dude. Like that's dope. And I was kind of surprised. I was kind of surprised by his answer to the AOY classic thing, but I feel like the classic, like the feels from the classic are different than the feelings from the AOY. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like he said, it's a crazy deal that somebody who goes through and they're the best angler through 9 events doesn't quite get, and I feel like they don't, you don't quite get the recognition you do when you win that one event, being the classic. Like,
maybe they should try and change that a little bit, because it is like that mark of, because that's that's like the I don't know, like the MVP in the NBA or the NFL or whatever. Like you can win the Super Bowl, which is great, but to perform super, super well through that many games, like that's really, really hard. And I would say, I don't know if this is an argument worth making, but maybe I would say it might be even harder to win an angler of the year because you're talking about different bodies of water versus different parts of the country, different weather. You're not in control of everything because you don't know what the fish or the, the water levels are going to, like, there's so many variables to be an AOY. I don't care if you're AOY from like your little local club to AOY, whatever, MLF, NPFL, BASS, like that's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Pollinix won it twice, right? Like how many other people have won it multiple times? KVD, of course. I mean, that's pretty obviously. Wait, which one is it? Chris Johnston, right? Who won it back? His brother Corey. They're both like super hammers, but that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, no, it's incredible for sure.
What would you rather win, Nate? AOY or Classic?
I'm gonna say, especially for the first one, it would have to be a Classic. If I were to choose one, like that would be the victor I would want first for sure.
So you know the phrase "show your ass"?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you want to win the Classic because you want to show your ass. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just out there, yeah.
On the stage, like, oh my gosh,
right.
Like, and not even necessarily in like a cocky way, but like, yo, like I just won the Classic, dude. Like that's different than an AOY. Like that, it just, like that's what's that phrase that was cool a couple of years ago? Like that hits different. Like it just does. Being on stage, fans, like that's a whole different thing, dude. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you're listening or watching on the YouTubes or whatever, or Spotify, make sure you hit up Easton, Fothergill.com. I'm going to spell it for you real quick. There's a ticker on the screen right now. That's EASTON FOTHERGILL, EastonFothergill.com. And so the reason why we didn't go through all his socials and stuff, because you can find all that information on his website, background stuff, sponsors, just, yeah, what a cool dude. So anything else, Nate, before we wrap it up?
Nah, man, that was a good one.
Really good.
Fun being back. Let's keep these rolling.
Let's keep them going, dude. Let's quit effing around and let's keep on having cool dudes like Easton. We also got a couple other good ones coming up. I'm really excited. We're talking to an actual friend, Chad Pipkins, next week, a guy who was Bassmaster Elite, and now he's kind of going through the opens because he, what do you call that? What is it called when they get bumped out?
Relegated? Yeah, I don't know. Relegated, yeah. I think that is what they call it, yeah.
Yeah, and he's an absolute stick fisherman and just about the coolest dude ever. Just ultra positive, fun, nice. Like he's texted me a couple times, asked me how my finger was doing after I caught my finger in a table saw. Like it's just I can kind of see it on screen here. Look at this goofy thing. Little sausage. So if anybody cares, the update on the finger real quick. So I had surgery on it and then it got infected again after the surgery. So they had to do another surgery, which wasn't expected. So I went to the office to meet with the surgeon after the surgery and he goes, "Oh, this is all messed up. Do you want to do another surgery? You want me to just numb it up and do it here?" And I'm like, "Just numb it up and do it here. Like, I don't want to keep coming back." He's like, "Okay." And I had to go back today again. And then I have to go back tomorrow for an ultrasound on it because they're afraid there's an infection in my knuckle. Bit of advice for anybody listening: don't put your finger on a moving table saw. You maybe had wood shop class as a child where they say push the board over the table saw with a push board. Don't put your finger by it. Actually do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Because if I was using a push board, it would have nicked the push board. It wouldn't have nicked my finger and hit my bone and whatever. So yeah, ended up so far. So now it's 11 stitches, 3 fractures, and 2 surgeries after hitting my finger on a table saw. Anyway, but Chad actually reached out to ask about that because he's that kind of dude. He actually cares about people. And then also next week, which I think will be the next episode we put out, I'm not sure, we're going to have Brian Brosdale on. Everybody knows Bro. If you look him up online, just a cool big white dude with like red hair, multi-species champion of like everything from bass to panfish to walleye, and then he's like a really, really, really big name in the ice fishing world. And so I'm really pumped to talk to him about ice fishing. Easton probably won't listen to that episode, nor will Nate. But
I might be sick for that one.
Yeah, right. But like I said, the one dope thing about ice fishing that's different is eating fish tacos through the ice. There's something about it. So that's it, man. Appreciate you guys for listening. Make sure you look up Easton's info, follow him, or we'll be cheering for him this year. And like always, positivity is worth the effort. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.